welcome to my channel. This is an indication of some of the things that I cover on a regular basis in my videos. If you haven't already subscribed, please feel free to do so, and don't forget to click the little bell so that you'll get notified of future videos. Please feel free to share my videos on your social media, and I hope you enjoy the video which follows. Good morning, everybody. It is October 22nd, I think, as I'm starting to put together a few clips for this weekend's video. We still have only had two very light frosts. The thermometer at my house, like the coldest it's gone to, is 3 degrees Celsius, but obviously down at ground level it was cold enough to give us a little frost. So I'm still not able to harvest my turnips, but I'll give you a look at them. What I'm doing right now is planting next year's garlic. I don't know, I've grown so many varieties over the years, I don't know if I've grown this one before or not. It's called Music, a porcelain variety. I bought a pound and was surprised. Well, a pound is a pound. 16 ounces, 454 grams. But I was surprised at the number of garlic heads that were involved. I think there were 10 if I remember rightly. It's large cloves. I don't know as I'd call it an elephant garlic. I think they're even larger, but we'll get a little close look at those if I can get it in the camera. It sort of has a purplish odor skin. At any rate, 10 heads, and there was probably an average of 5 cloves per head. I know I had one or two that only had 4 and several that had 6, so it probably averaged around 5. So I'll get these in the ground and hope for better luck than I had this past year. I can't even recall the variety. Russian, I think. Red Russian, maybe. Didn't plant it too far from where I'm planting this, but it was in an older bed, and the one that I'm using this year is a bed that I started this year with all of that organic compost. And I've already covered it with a good layer of chicken manure bedding to let that compost over the winter. The last time I was successful and grew some good garlic was a couple of years ago. And the thing that I noticed is the ones that I planted deeper were larger heads. So I'm going to plant these 6 to 8 inches deep. It makes them a little later coming up in the spring, and I don't understand why, but the ones that were planted a little shallower, the heads of garlic weren't as large, so whether that will happen again or not, I don't know, but I'm going to get these in the ground. The planting is being supervised by Angel. I got them laid out on the ground, and there are 48 cloves, so should most of those come up, that'll certainly be enough garlic for me for the next season. Well, that's the garlic planted. Next to it is my little patch of strawberries that I grew from seed last winter and planted this spring. And I didn't realize, I knew they'd sent out some runners, but evidently there's one that's left the original bed and is out at the edge of where I planted the garlic. So, and I'm amazed at the number of, I guess I'm showing you that, I'm amazed at the number of blossoms that there are for this time of year. No chance of them producing any more strawberries. We'll have a frost that kills them any day now, but they've gone into bloom like it was spring again. Well, my rutabagas, turnips, Swedes, whatever you want to call them, we call them turnips here, winter storage vegetable, are doing quite well. Still haven't had frost enough to sweeten them, is what they always say. If you have a few hard frosts before you harvest them. But I've had a couple of them already, and they are sweet and delicious. There is some, you can see on the skin there on that one. Don't know if that's slugs or rodents, but there's something nibbling on them, but that doesn't really damage them any, as long as they don't go into the core of it or whatever. I will be harvesting them and probably waxing them. I haven't waxed them before, but I think that's how I'll do it this year. and I'll be storing them in my new cold room in the basement, which I hope to show you at some point. It's still under construction, and hopefully that will preserve them until I'm ready to use them. There aren't that many anyway. There's maybe 10 or 12 here, I guess, but looking forward to it. One of my favorite root vegetables. Well, I've been thinking all along that I probably don't have carrots enough to even be thinking about storing them, and now I'm changing my mind. It's not a huge crop, but it's certainly more that I could eat by just pulling them and having them fresh. I've pulled out a really strange looking one a week or so ago, but a lot of them are like that, as you can see. I got that in there? Yes, I guess so. I forget the variety. They weren't meant to be terribly long. I don't know, that's 5.5, 6 inches, something like that, I guess, and fairly chubby and delicious. I've been eating them on a regular basis, and there's still lots left here, so I'm going to pull them all right now and see what I get. Well, that's not bad, and I certainly will have to store them. It's more carrots than I'll eat in quite a long time. I don't know what's there, somewhere between 10 and 15 pounds. And there was Angel, photobombing us. What always surprises me about carrots, these were all planted at the same time, same variety, from the same seed company. They've had the same amount of water and attention. You get one like this, you get medium ones, and then you get some of these little ones. And also, hidden down in that pile somewhere is a big fat one with a couple of roots on it. Thankfully, not too many of those this year. I've read that that is usually caused by too much compost, using too much compost. Also, if they find stones in the soil, they'll grow it around them, so I guess I lucked out on that another year. Also, no maggot fly or carrot fly maggot damage at all. I only had that happen once, 3-4 years ago, and there's many ideas and theories out there as to how to prevent it from happening. Plant garlic with them, plant onions with them. There was a little bit of garlic that came up in with these, but I had one of my subscribers tell me something I never heard before. The carrot fly only goes low down to the ground, and if they're planted in a raised bed, higher raised bed, then you shouldn't have the issue. And these just happen to be in my tallest raised bed. It's probably 4 feet off the ground. So if that theory is true, that explains why there's no damage. But I'll have to finish cleaning these up and remove the tops and get them ready and store them for winter. Well, I had, I don't know, 20 some odd beets that I transplanted into the greenhouse probably 2 months ago, I guess. I was out 4 or 5 days ago and watered and checked up on them, and they were looking really good. I said I'll have to harvest those soon. Came back today, and that's what's left. And I see where one of them's also got some chewing. I'll have to throw it away. But this is what's been happening to those, if you can see that. That is voles. The miserable things are moving into the greenhouse for the winter. They always do. They don't like it in there in the summer. It must be the heat, I suppose. But they have devastated my beets. More than half. Probably close to 15 of the things were totally destroyed. The foliage just laying there on the ground, and when you pull it, that's what you find. However, I will cook those few and enjoy them with dinner this evening. Well, I just did a partial cleanup anyway of the greenhouse. Can't see behind this door where the beets used to be. Some of the things that I've left, that larger patch right there, that's sorrel, red sorrel. It's not going to be in here next summer, but I don't want to dig it out now. Most things that I transplant this time of year don't make it through the winter, so it will be coming out in the spring and going outside somewhere. It takes up too much space in here. And just beyond that, here, that's my Bishop's Crown chili pepper, a huge plant, and right now has lots of chilies on it. Let me zoom in and show you anything. My issue with the things is I've never seen a ripe one. So I'm not going to pull it out yet. I don't think we have much of a chance of it ripening, but really our weather is milder than it has been normally. And over in the back, the arbol chilies are still there, some of which are nice and red. So I will be picking those today and drying them because I really like to grow those again. Nice big tall sturdy plants, and the chilies have got some nice heat. I really enjoyed them. So I think the Bishop's Crown probably does too. I used some, but I used them in making a relish, so I couldn't, determine which was which in the relish. But I'd love to see some of them ripen. Well, after lunch, I'm coming back out, and I have to dig a trench down the middle of this bed, and I will be healing in all of my tree seedlings. You might have seen my video last spring. I got a lot of 1-year-old tree seedlings and planted them in grow bags. So now they're 2-year-old seedlings. They finished growing for this year. And along with it, I also have some chestnut trees that I started myself last year. I don't want to put them out again this time of year. I have not much luck when I plant things here this time of year just before winter. So I'll heal them in, and they will get placed somewhere on the property come spring, but I'll show you that in a bit after I've had some lunch. I'm beginning to feel a little peckish. My girl has been very patient, relaxing, watching me work. I got the things all healed in that I want to try bring through the winter. The ones closest to me, the first first 5, I guess, are the ones that I got this spring as 1-year-old seedlings, and at that time they were just a little whip, no branching, no side branching, and I didn't think at times some of them were even going to bud out. They were very slow because they were completely dormant when they shipped them to you, but they all budded out and grew beautifully. And if you can see all of those side branches, those all happened this summer. Just beyond that is 3, I think it is, of the chestnut trees that I grew from seed. And then beyond that again, I don't know if you can see them, they're so small, but see a little green thing, they have a little green thing peeking up out of that one. Those are Norway spruce that I grew from seed this past spring. So they will be in these grow bags for another couple of years yet before I dare to transplant them out somewhere. They would be eaten very quickly by a bunny rabbit. And at the very end is a rose bush that a friend gave me. It was just a rooted cutting sort of that she dug up out of her garden, and I left it in the container letting it grow more roots and sort of forgot about it. And it's too late now to transplant it, so it's in here for the winter and it'll be out in the garden come spring, I hope. I also got the grapevine pruned back. The old one is the one you can see with two branches, one there and one there, 2 trunks that come up from the same plant. And the newer one, which is a green dessert grape, doesn't even have a name, it's just got a number or something. It's one that Cornhill nursery where I bought it from have been working on by themselves, I guess. It's not a name variety yet. But it grew some nice long whips, and I've got them on wire. Side branching next year, perhaps I'll see the first grapes on it. And something I forgot to show you, I just picked a handful of chile de arbol, the Spanish hot chili. I'm going to dry those and collect the seeds to grow some more. I really like them. Arbol is Spanish for tree, and you sort of understand it when you see the plant. They grow 3 or 4 feet tall on a very stocky plant. Mine sort of fell over because I didn't give them proper support, but very hardy plant and produced lots of chilies. I used mostly green ones when I was doing my relish earlier, but getting some nice red ones now, so I'll have to try one of those in something along with saving the rest for seed. Might not have been a good idea to let the hens out to free range while I'm doing this. This rooster is announcing to the other hens that he's found something very good. Now that I've got the tops off of them, I don't know, I would guess that they're probably 8 to 10 pounds of carrots there. More than I'd want to eat before they're spoiled anyway, so I'll be glad to put them in their shavings for the winter. I just put a layer of shavings in there, nice clean shavings, new bale. And I learned my lesson last year, I put too much water in. So this year I'm just misting. I had to drill holes in the bottom of this last year to let some of the water out. I thought the shavings would absorb it all, but they didn't. The children are home from school and they're playing on those loud, miserable machines. If you hear something in the background, four-wheelers. This is the one that I couldn't find a bit earlier. That's the fat, strange one. I will bring you back when I'm doing the last layer. I suspect it's only going to be 2 or 3 layers. Let you know how many layers of them I've got in here. This method worked so well last year. Thinking it'll work maybe even better this year because it's going to be in that colder room. Well, that is the 3rd and final layer. Now they will go in the basement and be enjoyed this fall and winter, hopefully. I feel that I've accomplished something today anyway. I've been putting a lot of things off, procrastinating. There's still things to be done, but getting closer to being ready for winter, I guess. And right now it's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and Angel has been an angel all day, just watching me work. Now, we're going to a beach for a nice beach walk and a sniff. Thank you very much for watching.